What's up, my friends? It is Murder Inc. back with Watcher of Realms, talking about how to min-max Eerie of Styx, Lord of Styx, the Immortal Codex boss, the final one. Well, I guess we can technically call it the final one, the one that gives most people a problem. So I'm going to show you what I did right here with my team. We got 3.7 mil. And it's likely you don't have to have the champions. Let me just clarify right now, because I know people are going to saying, sick, now I just need insert all 6 champions. That's not what we're going to do. If you've ever seen a boss video for me, I make it so it's applicable to pretty much every comp here. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do here. So we are going to place the heroes. Okay, now they got placed here. So the first thing you have to consider is going to be, in 7 seconds, the first shield goes off. Now this introductory phase doesn't count towards the actual boss fight. You have options here. What I do is I burst through this shield before he can start casting, so I can set up all of my cooldowns and start getting soulbound arcana stacks. So my Praetus, Salazar, and that's it. Technically Calypso, but she doesn't count. So those, they have what? Soulbound Arcana. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to cast Silas ult into this ult, into that. Okay, so we did everything. I probably shouldn't have used the Arbiter Lord thing, but here's the thing. As of right now, this is a waiting period. Waiting period of doing nothing. Why are we doing nothing? Because once you break the shield, you gain turn meter. So what do I want to do here? Let's put this at 1x speed just so I can show you exactly. I'm going to break up to 200 hits passively. So what I want to do is I want to click him at 5, Silas at 2, and then Praetus right before it pops. Use this, wait for him to do damage, then pop Eloin right here into this to boost the turn meter even more. And this is what I do all of the time. This is the min-maxing here. Because you want the cooldowns to be running while you get the damage amp. Right? Just makes the most sense when you're breaking shields. So if you're using your ult during the shields, what are you doing? 0 damage. A lot of people know that they're going to need to ult during the shield later in the fight, so they start doing it early, missing millions and millions of damage. This is why I was 300, 400,000 damage ahead of everyone else for the first few days. I think it took people a bit to realize, and even myself, I was at 2.9 million, then jumped up to 3.3 and now 3.7. Those were the big leaps made from just altering the timing. So do this with whatever comps you have. Okay, the next shield comes up. What are we doing here? Absolutely nothing. 1x speed. Him, Silas, Praetus, shield pops. I get the free turn meter. Now I use them both. Pop the Arbiter Aura. Bam. Now we're going here. We used the cooldowns and we got 50% on top of that, since you do gain rage while your champions are actively ulting. And so again, we use him on cooldown now, Silas right towards the end, Praetus finally, because he's the... So if you don't realize why, I should probably explain this. I kind of just assumed you knew, or I'm assuming everyone knows why I'm doing this. The reason why I'm hitting them in order, Setram, his ultimate takes the longest to go off. So if you wait for like 10 stacks left, by the time his ult goes off, he will have already gotten the 50% rage at a full bar and it won't count. So you want to aim for like 50 to 40 stacks left on the shield is when you use Setram. Silas has a 15-second ult, so you want to use it, I don't know, with like 20 to 30 stacks, because again, his isn't quite instant. Praetus, very fast ult, has the shortest duration of all 3 of them, I'm pretty sure. With that being said, you want to use him last, and if you're fast enough, which you will be if you swap to 1x speed, when it's 10 stacks or under, you slam Praetus, and I'm using Praetus, you slam your lowest duration ult in that window, and you're golden. So we keep going through some heals here. As we can see, we're doing pretty decent damage so far. All right, now we're going to cast, let's see what the shield's looking like, 200. So at 100, I'll cast you, then Silas into Praetus. I'm doing this fast, so it's not like 100% optimal, but you kind of get the gist where I'm going. This is why you can see such insane numbers here. So he's going to cast again. This is where you want rage regen on some of your heroes. So right now, I'm getting to the point where I need to start ulting very early. I mean, I didn't have to do it there, and I probably lost pretty decent damage by doing that, but you kind of get what I'm saying here, right? So now, I gotta boost the turn meter as much as I can, because we want to pretty much instantly use it for this one. Because he gets ramping attack speed, and then at like 250, we use Praetus, and we'll click on Silas right now. Bam. As you can see, it's just an absolute nuke. We're hitting 3 mil with a minute 20 left. I mean, come on now. Now for the final shield, we're going to tap Sechem a little bit early here. Him again a little bit early. I mean, we can go for the pad here. I don't think I'll need this to break. Yeah, I didn't need to do that. I kind of just wasted something you don't want to waste, which was a very bad idea. Now you ult early because I know I can't break the last shield. So I'm just going to get as much damage as I possibly can out now. Let's get these turn meters. I'm not going to touch Salazar for obvious reasons. What are those obvious reasons? Murder? Because since I can't survive the shield, although, you know what, maybe I could have. So we ult here to dodge this. Now we just have Salazar versus you in the final stage. Oh, looks like, well, I didn't do the timing perfectly. If the timing was perfect, I would have about 10 seconds at the end. Maybe I left it on 2x speed for too long. But anyways, so here we have it. I don't have the same gear I had before, but you get the gist of it, right? Silas, normally, since I kind of messed up the second to last ult, where I ulted early on Silas, you want to ult 50 stacks or less every time. Theoretically, if I really sat here 1x speed every single transition, I think 3.8, 3.9 is possible. I don't know about 4. 4 is my initial goal. The peak for Praetus for me was 110 mil. The peak for Sechem was 117 and Silas was 240. That was a failed attempt because I tried something crazy. It didn't work out. Usually Salazar is closer to 100, so you can kind of see where all the missing damage comes from, just better timings. Now, technically, if you have Salazar, there's something you can do here. I've tried it a couple times. To be honest with you, it's a little bit much, and it might be too much for you guys. I don't know if any hero besides Salazar can do this, but if you do have him, it's something to consider. So I'll wait until this next ultimate is up here. And it should be for this shield. Let me just take it off auto so he doesn't insta-cast it here. Okay, perfect. So he gets this shield, right? And now if you like use it right here, technically he gets it. Okay, so I even messed it up. This is why it's really fickle. If you use this, technically you can get the last 1 to 2 hits of Salazar's ultimate onto the boss with the shield down and still get 50% rage regen. It's only going to add up to like, I estimated 5 to 7 million damage by the end, but it's 5 to 7 million damage, right? You can't really shrug that much off, especially because it gets amplified so much at the end, and he is the one surviving all the way to the end. So that is one optimization I could do as well. Now, again, if you don't have these heroes, think about your roster. That's all you really have to do. If you don't have a Sechem, say, okay, who has high attack speed ult? And I'm not going to say you're going to sit here and do 3 million damage. You're going to do whatever your account's capable of doing. So you can swap Praetus for any other lord that benefits you. You don't have to use him. He's just really good at this for the high-end play. But the tips I just told you here are enough to improve anyone damage if you haven't already been doing this. I've seen way too many clips of people ulting during the shield, when in reality, if the shield is 360 hits to break, if you are breaking it too early with ultimates, it means you're wasting every second of that ultimate damage into the shield. So what do I mean by that exactly? If you don't need an ult to break a shield, don't use it. How do you know how to do this? This is what I did. Every time a shield came up, I did it until I wiped. And then I said, okay, let's add 1 ult. Did it until I wiped. Okay, let's add 2 ultimates during the shield with stacks. Did it until I wiped. I figured out exactly what I needed, and when I had to hit the ults to make sure I maximized all of this. So if you follow this, I don't see any possible reason why your damage will not go up significantly. Now, if you're looking to push rank 1, this won't help you that much, because there's a lot that goes into the strategy that I'm using to squeeze out every little bit that's very specific to these champions, and Honestly, there's probably like 100 people with Praetus. Not gonna do a video on Praetus. That would kind of be dumb. As much as I'd love to. He's my hands down favorite hero in the game. Like, there's no one that comes close to him. It was arrogance until I saw this guy. But that's going to conclude this video. If you want videos similar to this about the other Immortal Codex bosses, can do that too. Simple principle, nothing hero specific. Can just give you the rundown of what you're supposed to do in the fight with whoever you have. That's kind of my style as far as guides go, because you can't make everyone happy, so I'm doing my best to include the largest group possible. So glad to be back. Happy to do this video. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoy content like this, smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you all in my next upload.